Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, the Honorable First Deputy Speaker, the Chief of Staff and other presidential staffers present, the Chairman and members of the Council of State present, the Honorable Attorney General and other ministers, my Lord Justices of the Superior Courts of Judicature, Your Honours and Your Worships, other Honourable Members of Parliament here present, members of the Judicial Council and General Legal Council here present, the President of the Ghana Bar and other members, traditional and spiritual leaders here with us, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with a deep sense of humility, gratitude and solemn responsibility that I stand before you today on this historic occasion of my investiture as Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana. I wish first to thank the Almighty God for the wisdom, grace, and courage He has bestowed on me. I wish to express my deepest gratitude to His Excellency the President for appointing me to this high office, the Council of State for advising the President, and Parliament for graciously endorsing me. I would like to dedicate this honor to all who have walked this path with me, my mentors, my family, and my colleagues. I thank my wife and children for their love, patience, and understanding. I also wish to acknowledge with respect and appreciation the many jurists, lawyers, court staff, and members of the public who have labored, sometimes silently, to uphold the rule of law and deliver justice in our land. Your Excellency, as Chief Justice, I recognize that every court in our land, from the smallest magistrate court to the highest tribunal, holds a sacred duty to ensure that the rights, liberties, and human dignity of Ghanaians are respected and protected. It is not the law alone that matters, but how the law is applied, how justice is dispensed, and how courts earn the confidence of the people. We serve a nation built on the 1992 Constitution, which enshrines not only rights, but also responsibilities. Our judiciary must be independent, impartial, and accessible. It must not serve the powerful or the connected at the expense of the weak and the vulnerable. It must resist any incursions on its freedoms, but also embrace accountability, transparency, and continuous reform. In recent times, many Ghanaians have expressed concern about delays, access, and perceptions of fairness in our courts. I wish to confront those concerns head-on. The judiciary must not only be seen to be fair, but must be fair, clearing backlogs, reforming processes, promoting alternative dispute resolutions where appropriate, harnessing technology, and ensuring that ordinary citizens can approach the courts with confidence. These are not optional add-ons, but they are imperatives. Your Excellency, my vision for the judiciary is that of a service-oriented institution, courts that are efficient, transparent, and respectful of all persons, judges and staff who uphold high ethical standards, treat litigants with dignity, and apply the law without fear or favor. A judiciary that works not for political ends, but for the cause of justice. I envision a Ghana where justice is not delayed or denied, where the cost, distance, and complexity of going to court are no longer barriers to fairness. I envision judges who are independent, yet humble, fearless, yet fair, learned, yet compassionate. I envision a system where alternative mechanisms of dispute resolution complement the former courts and relieve the strain of backlog. I envision courtrooms where respect reigns, but where litigants are not intimidated, where the language of justice is not alienating, but comprehensible to every Ghanaian. I pledge to support the uplifting of court infrastructure, the continuing training of judges and staff, the deployment of information and communication technologies to improve case flow and increased outreach to the citizenry so that the judiciary's work is better understood and trusted. We will strive together to raise the brand of the judiciary in the minds of the people, not simply as an institution they must contend with, but as one that belongs to them and works for them. Mr. President, in accepting this office, I give my solemn word that I will uphold the rule of law, respect the separation of powers, and protect the Constitution. I will respect the independence of every judge and ensure that the judiciary remains free from improper influence. I will also insist on accountability, because independence without responsibility breeds entitlement and erosion of public trust. Judges, court officers, and staff will be encouraged and supported to act ethically, to treat all who come to court with fairness, and to understand that the title judge is not a privilege, but a public service. Every litigant who enters a courtroom brings not only a case, but hope. Hope that justice will be done. I accept the responsibility of preserving that hope. I urge all stakeholders, lawyers, litigants, civil society, the public, to join us in forging a judiciary worthy of the confidence of the Ghanaian people. Your Excellency, we also cannot ignore the call for reform in legal education. The future of the bar is the future of the bench. We must move from exclusion to inclusion, from rote learning to critical thinking, and from credentialism to competence. Working with the General Legal Council, the Ghana School of Law, and our law faculties, we shall pursue a model that ensures opportunity without compromising quality. Our goal is not merely to produce more lawyers, but better lawyers who are disciplined, ethical, and devoted to the cause of justice. Your Excellency, today marks both continuity and renewal. Having served in an acting capacity over the past 7 months, I have seen the quiet strength of our judges and magistrates, the resilience of the judicial service staff.
Speaker. Ghana's economy has regained its rhythm. Real GDP expanded by 6.3% in the first half of 2025, up from 5.1% in the same period of 2024, driven by stronger driven by stronger agriculture and service, lower inflation, and renewed business confidence. Non-oil GDP grew by 7.8%, showing that our growth is now powered by domestic production. Mr. Speaker, the service sector remains the heartbeat of recovery, surging 8.8% with ICT up 17.2%, finance and insurance up 9.5%, and education up 14.9%. Agriculture, the backbone of stability, also grew by 6%, doubling that of last year. Mr. Speaker, cocoa rebound from a sharp 21.4%, contracting to 2.8% growth. Mr. Speaker, thanks to the targeted farm support and smarter policies. Industry held steady despite reduced oil output. Manufacturing rose 6.3% and construction 4.0%, reflecting reliable energy and revived infrastructure projects. On the demand side, Right Honorable Speaker, household consumption grew by 8.2%, reflecting stronger household confidence. Government spending also slowed to 3.7%, proving fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, export grew 11.5%, led by gold, cocoa, and non-traditional export. This is the growth that creates jobs, lifts incomes, and builds lasting stability. Mr. Speaker,
the 20th day of the month, November 2025, and Yamiadom Kakanga Crowdy Gusui Chafino. And she be at 2025 na Vidi pass what to told me. When you swadi will be a nice when for the year 2025. No, I'm Ukraine, me, I'm with me. Yes, so this is how we welcome you to Nukreme live on Today Ghana News TV. Meeting Lawrence Apini, Yeboa, said that it do a yard de Bia no, ye de Abjafo Betina say it didn't come 1 or 2. The Shen Same Chugu Ghana. Na ye de moon, Cheshimu, Abramu, the NTS and Penfootnasi, Amudin Chimbebre. I also who are couldn't say, do I didn't share any. There will be another count I did to meet in a boom. Samuel Norman Samuel, I want to let you know that tonight we are live on via the Twitch satellite, no, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Then and the search handle is Today Ghana News TV. Associate channels, no, 93.5 FM and only a high in the Achim region. Samsung Kings Radio, Accra, Jamframa TV, and OT region, Sekina Information Center, Tatalik Northern Ghana, Adeliman Community Information Center, and also on Quanta Samsung, Okwa Flower, Fans TV. These are the channels making sure that our program is live on other regions, other platforms. So a big thank you to all these platforms and down. And as usual, I would like to go straight into the evening news, the Evening Tribune newspaper. No headlines and some could more front page, that which means you mun kakrama and I'll be actually. Na and some could mono. I see ECOWAS at former justice Tokuno's application no masu say no what tama to abonten just one person be one application no cry we share front page na former chief justice na that one kama was read. And so Samuel ECOWAS at tamne way pana ya to baby. Yes, to class a be an application in that. Tiana relevant to be. Yes, Ghana. UK Ghana ties deepen as High Commission Benson meets philanthropists championing girls with disabilities. In fact, this is a step in the right direction. This is a very good step in the right direction. Samson Oko, the other side now, Prof. Vice President Prof. And all Masabino. appointment of Chief Justice no that one more Chichiano. It's 2 days ago, Yana Chief Justice are not acting. Sisiano onya appointment full-time or occupy officer. Sisiano Hekagana Chief Justice Mr. Paul Bafu Bonnie. And Chief Justice before we started you made a little sound bite be now uti and some on it or the two jabra appointing on. I promise Ghanaians a whole lot of things in him Ghana for expected. This is why in Reno you need to join us with your comments, opinions, views, suggestions, or thoughts. What you are expecting from the new Chief Justice, the Okoso. Right. This time we will just take a quick look at the 2026 budget. I don't know how people are fascinated. Chain will be super out because I say still the prices are high and all that. We'll dive deeper into that. So make say unya live session Facebook I will share. The interesting thing is that when it comes to Facebook it makes the program global. You can join us and also share your comments. Even if you are outside the shores of Ghana, you have the opportunity. And if I'm for the Omode Bar, the layman committee now also win your opportunity on the other bar. So we can have the best show. I say. Now, before me introduce my guest, I'd like to take a quick breather. Whatever me introduce my guest, and then many opening Mr. Charles Smith. And I'm expected to be joined by Dr. Masood Abungu. And we are excited to be having a social commentator. And it wouldn't be like the NDC and NPP. Sometimes they say who balance and you made in and join here. Opening Charles, no, Ajo, and Aqua Jumadin.
Yeah, Medasi, good evening. Me ojidisa ho ye de. Lawrence, me ojidisa ho ye de. Ye de amias. But I say,
Bibi what to say?
Oh, you me adum be haso boko. Me ba o show I me ni JP biri say. Me pio sa platform iso. Abri bia obeto nsa frɛ bia no ya crowd ye be ba say Ghana ho donti.
Mirase. Mema okunya na before I started media no say wo mpanimfo bia pese wo ntu nchia ma omo a na akaka bia wo de be kan ye de we bia no wo kasa we pe na wo go for a quick breather na me ba na ya started.
Okay, thank you very much. The usual rituals. Edi guy make sure o mampeni His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, baby bio biara me mano. Good evening. Make sure NDC ekuba bia so a owo afananya titiru Ghana memu ena omo abrochimemu eno se mekanisa na meka Germany abonte so bebia ene ankanka Hamburg ha NDC fo nyina mina medom ano so mo kasama fo mesa so yomo sika chire ni emomo Ntia kese nkoma mebusha foso omuzo wo Ghana no mo wo Germany ha isa se omo paibo na edi ekwo eba nti abribia ebenya sa akwenya ye tunchia emomo ma omuso hu se ye bodwuma ye dijuma soronko ewo omudin mu
Opening middle I say why in sama me I would like to go for a quick breather na me ba na they won't be an the atutu so said die no pen for mo hwe me adofo ma gya akonwa asam mo muti na mo hwe ebeje simana ya home enkoji nkrato ye ba Penny Ras Mubarak and Send the Bremai. The Kojin Kato by the median betwaso, Manko Bibia.
Welcome to Beyond Makeup, where beauty and confidence are taken to a whole new level. Here, we pamper and take care of you like royalty. Enjoy our gentle waxing, refreshing facials, and soothing massages that melt away stress and leave your skin glowing. We also offer professional makeup services, manicures, pedicures, durable nail extensions, and perfectly sculpted ombre brows. We give you the most perfect soft lashes that highlight your natural beauty. At Beyond Makeup, every visit is more than just a service. It's an experience of care, elegance, and transformation. Locate us at Chado Last Stop or call us on 0559 933 505 or 0506 474 911. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Beyond Makeup, your journey to wellness starts here.
Africa unite, 'cause the children wanna go home. Yeah.
Greetings, my name is Ras Mubarak. I'm a former member of parliament in Ghana. On the 18th of August, we're going to begin a very historic journey. A journey driving through 39 African countries that's going to take us well over 4 months, driving for 600 hours, over 40,000 kilometers. And this initiative is endorsed by the government of Ghana. Why are we doing this? We want our continent to unite, and we want our people in Africa to be able to travel within Africa without visa restrictions. You see, Africa has enormous potential beyond anybody's imagination. And if we are united as one people, one continent, if there are no restrictions for us to travel to each other's country, you have no idea what we can achieve together. The economic benefits are enormous. The cultural exchanges, the opportunity to, study and learn and tour and see each other's country is just amazing. And so we want you, my friends, to support this. And we appeal to African governments to support the initiative so that together we can make Africa visa-free now.
Africa unite, 'cause the children wanna go home. Yeah.
Welcome back to the show. We are still live on Today Ghana News TV. We're in the Premier, and I'm here with you, Media on Chame. In May, the same baby, and moving come after home. So we see sound bites in a boy, and it should tell you the kind of discussions in the way you be have it. Now, as a Ghanaian, no, you sure say. Before I be ready 2026 budget, now what na say I was some hey 80 the beko the benefit or the benefit no. As at last week na ye jumedi we e cost no samen no so na budget reading e cost nti ye e wono kramre jumedi no so ntimi amfa and I intimi and discuss because as at that time na omun enkan we nti ye cost so me sure say my colleagues have more other shows no so on the same platform no. Today Ghana News TV, my view and Omar discuss it. And this is a timer, no criminal siatanasia. You be pense budget no. Na after we are what Ghanaians are expecting from the new Chief Justice. San same way in May, you be pense mo. Before Doc be joining and no Mr. Wako, Mr. Charles Mensa on na me start media no. Said I Mr. Charles.
Yeah, Lawrence.
Yes. Idiot. Adaoma. You didn't cabo bite kakra, which be also what's budget in 2026 budget. No, as part of resetting the national development, recycling the recycling of the old narrative. You see, what say budget is in some PPM. To some people, it's quite fascinating. Even so. It's normal because sometimes we check a balance now. Where do you stand in this budget? You were very fascinated about it.
All right, thank you very much once again, Lawrence. And Madun Chirefa sa budget semi huno has to do with the fact that preparing a budget for the fiscal year is required under our laws. Inti abribiano ye mran na shen say or say ye budget a ebebo ye de I don't know the true word, but we need to have a budget in place that will guide the government expenditure and revenue generation mechanism. Inti idea imperative on Ghana. Na abribiano so ye budget bi mo de and I say come bi no mo and I be so baby omu gina nti amu ni say budget no enkomo but sa 2026 budget we so wutie Ghana for the ododo na ka budget a hyenkran budget a ebema oman no etumpon na ekodum pempeso bi a oman Ghana ntuma also ofafria no obetimi afefra isan say nsama e budget no mu de nsama ehwam ena nsama eto asum nia medin ka sha say wo budget semi ho ne say wo fa budget bia na every budget has two sides, the revenue side and the expenditure side. So if you look at the revenue side, chire ekwanya Ghana befa so enya sika or the bebo no ho eja, that is ekwanya befa so benya sika I spend. But fortunately for most Ghanaians or all Ghanaians, the government did not introduce new revenue measures. The government did not
right, GSO Penny Homano HC train say and Sabakan na train say na Homano be and before then Mekayo, if you just join us in Pacho, the only thing I would want you to do for me right now say make sure so like now share and also add your voice to what you are saying by sending us your comments. Meji prepare ma kani na mo bibia ordinary and beba for my who bibia o tasty free. Na obo odi na wo de share account. Be so glad to read them out. Na budget soon sense na egu so account. So sharing here me papa so make sure that maybe I will be an share. The exciting thing is that so share it make go draw bi ho ama nipa bi so ehu de na no so na nyi share account. I would like to take a quick break na share opening ahomano. When I come back we'll continue the discussion. Don't go anywhere.
The Accra-Kumasi Expressway is the flagship of President Mahama's Big Push infrastructure program. It is Ghana's first fully modern 6-lane bi-directional Class A expressway, a highway worthy of a nation on the rise. Stretching 198.7 kilometers, this expressway will become the central spine of Ghana's economy, linking our capital city to Kumasi, the heartbeat of the Asante region. It will cut through the Greater Accra with the eastern regions, creating a powerful southern-northern economic corridor that connects people, markets, and opportunities. To achieve this, the expressway follows a brand new alignment. This alone reduces the current travel distance by more than 50 kilometers, bringing it down from 250 kilometers to just under 199 kilometers. The impact on time and efficiency will be remarkable. Travel time between Accra and Kumasi will be cut by half. Transport costs are expected to fall by nearly 40%. And during construction, the project will create over 30,000 direct and indirect jobs for engineers, artisans, suppliers, and young people eager to work and build. But this project is more than a road. It is a catalyst for transformation. It will spark the development of new industrial parks, logistics hubs, storage centers, and service economies along its length. It will power our 24-hour economy and strengthen Ghana's global competitiveness. The expressway
with the Mr. Mufanche, Fidini, other internet money, and then idea you materiana. We are back again. Before I go break, now Mr. Charles making comment. He's touching on the 2026 budget. If he's back, we can just continue. Mr. Charles, the platform is yours.
All right, thank you very much. And Lauren, sorry. Network send out in Kaka and network you need control also, sir. So as I was saying, the 2026 budget is a budget of hope that most experts ehuni say emunsem no ensem a ebeboa Ghana inti tena na meeting eka no ufa budget be two sides, the revenue side and the expenditure side. And when you look at the revenue side now, there are no new taxes and as a new streams of revenue generation that dane ohona ena yeba be yusu na yedi reki in money to your friend is saying as it were to cater for the needs of the country. But one thing we should also bear in mind is that the government is aiming at expanding the tax net and not expanding the tax rate. As a Chinese say, omo mutua tax no dodo na any bracket ni mu nti the aban ne be ne say opeso de omo mu ni bracket ni mu no ebeba bracket ni mu na omo wom dada so ho ha omo. In doing that, you increase revenue and not necessarily increase taxation. So for me, as an expert, I am very, very glad say the government is introducing these tax reforms. So the government talks about VAT, making it more compliance friendly, taking out the the COVID-19 levy of 1% or so, and also the decoupling of the Get Fund and the NHL. These are reforms that the government of Ghana or introducing more compliance more effectively and amount for the zeal to pay taxes, because paying of taxes and a wholesome attitude for most Ghanaians. It is all in such a way say obi biara benya opepa na wetua netwo se na esefata. So he talks about when you pay your tax regularly, when you are faithful with your tax payment, he's going to give coupons for a raffle to be held at the end of the year, whereby whoever emerges the winner will go home with an item, just to encourage people to be current with their tax obligations. Corporate organizations are also being incentivized through the reforms now about VAT tax handle. So you realize for the corporate corporate Ghana about say we're increasing the threshold for the medium tax VAT collectors from 200,000 to 750,000 Ghana cedis, meaning if your turnover for the whole year is not up to 750,000 Ghana cedis, you will not be required to charge VAT. Okay. Hitherto, countries that were smaller in nature were asked to charge VAT because of the threshold. The threshold was 200,000. Now, what it means is that most of these small companies do not have the skill or the know-how to keep proper records for GRA to know that this is the amount of VAT they have collected, for which reason they have to pay to government. Okay, so the government is saying that if you are not up to 750,000 Ghana cedis turnover per year, you are not going to charge VAT. This means any customer or consumer who goes to such a small entity of less than 750,000 turnover a year and buy their service or get their product, you are not going to be charged VAT simply because that company does not have the capacity to charge you VAT. But if you are 750,000 and over, you have the ability, you have the capacity to keep proper records, and for that matter, you are going to charge VAT and report same to the government. If it happens this way, the government is able to know the number of companies that are capable of charging VAT and also reporting same accordingly. Inti a man say obi beji usika as a consumer. Now at the end of the day, no to mean and declare Emma government. So these interventions are government ama Ghana for now. Some of these companies take our VAT money, but they don't pay to government, will be exempted going forward. So whoever pays tax nowadays, whoever pays VAT nowadays, will certainly go to government for government to get the needed revenue for the investment that they are proposing to carry out this next year. Now, when you look at the expenditure side, the most critical aspect of every budget, or for that matter, Ghana budget, has to do with payment of compensations, payment of goods and services, and payment of what capital expenditure, what we call the CAPEX. There are other payments here, and which has to do with interest and amortization, statutory payments. These payments, even though compensation sometimes a ban is a but in the event that you are able to negotiate proper base pay increment, you can do something about compensation payment. Okay. Again, so with interest and statutory payment, they are rigid. You cannot do anything about it unless maybe you want to declare debt distress and also go for DDEP. But in the current circumstances, that is not what we are doing. That is not what government intends doing. So the most exciting aspect is that expenditure for CAPEX is going up tremendously. Compensation is also going up because the government has indicated that in 2026 they are going to engage more hands, and also I know the base pay has been increased by 9%, which for which reason government has budgeted 90 billion Ghana cedis to cater for compensation. Government has also budgeted over 50 billion Ghana cedis for capital expenditure. Now, one thing we should also bear in mind is that with capital expenditure, about 30 billion Ghana cedis is going to big push. And we all know what the vision of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is concerning big push. So you will not be surprised that government is current on most of the road construction projects that are ongoing. Government is very, very current on that because of the previous 13 billion Ghana cedis it's allocated for big push. And this time around, because the government is saying that the economy is now in a stable hand, we are looking at growing the economy. So if you are seeking to grow the economy, you need to tackle your your infrastructure base, because that is the sector that prepares quality growth and not short-term growth. If you want a long-term growth, you need to tackle your infrastructure aspect of the economy. So government through the big push has allocated more 30 billion Ghana cedis to tackle roads, hospitals, schools, and other infrastructure that are critical for the development of the economy going forward. Because right now,
big push, no.
Yes, sir. Because the vision of His Excellency John Dramama is that he wants to build Ghana or he wants to build a country where nobody can bring us back. So if a government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is making expenditure in capers of more than 50 billion, any government that comes and does less than that, Ghanaians will know that the government is not interested in ensuring that the infrastructure base of the country is well enhanced. Okay, so Ghanaians will hold such a leader or such president accountable to do more in the area of infrastructure. That is why His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has budgeted this amount of money. And the component of Big Push has to do with major infrastructure projects in the country. So they talk about Accra Kumasi Expressway, which is a 3-year project captured under the Big Push, and part of it's a 3-year program. So certainly 2026, when they kickstart the project, 2027, 2028, government is going to make allocations for the completion of this project through the Big Push agenda. What you say? Sebano Grover, this budget envisage say 2026 going, the state or Ghana economy ought to grow. That is why they are making this critical investment in infrastructure and other sectors that will propel the growth that we are all looking for. So the government talks about going to build 1,200 megawatt thermal plant by itself. Who says this year? Ghana or minor thermal plant in almost a private sector for their IPPs. Yeah. So government is aiming at building its own thermal plants, okay, 1,200 megawatts, so that the IPPs need new Ukraine or no government need their hobbit me association on, because they know that for the 24-hour economy to be successful, we need energy, and we need sufficient energy, and we also need cheaper energy. So when government is able to bring on board 1,200 megawatt thermal plants on board, ebema competition between the government selling its power to the people of Ghana and the private man also selling its power to the people of Ghana. That competition will be heavy enough to reduce the price aspect, because governments all over the world, they are not profit oriented. They are only interested in delivering public good. Okay, inti say government needs to minya your friends a thermal plant na ebeboa ama a healthy competition akoso that industry ni muma private for no tete omobo no so kakra ama yen ebio wo hwe friend is saying agriculture so was say he will try $500 million equivalent of palm plantation your friend say project. When we say a ban of palm plantation, the value chain, the benefits along the value chain is very, very high. Inti say abibia or the focus ebe kohorona obe making sure say obe developing that sector. The future is very, very bright. Okay, so in the nutshell, the 2026 budget looks very promising, and Ghanaians should expect that 2026 most of their roles will be catered for. Most of the hospitals that were left behind during the previous administration, government has indicated they are going to complete some, and other projects will come on board. All this comes to augment the fact that Ghana is now stable and wants to grow. So
right, I just want
to stay on the budget oriented.
Yes, the person will stay on the big push now. And in terms of amount I allocated for some of these projects, how do we, even though there were few ways I mentioned as to how to gather, but is it feasible? How do we raise the money for all these projects?
So when we say Medin Kaka say a buy natural streams are audible raise revenue. And
the leakage is not a revenue generation.
And a spend this
Can
revenue.
That is why if we're able to see all
the port alone, when the Minister of Finance was delivering the budget statement, he indicated that the port, the leakages at the port alone is so much that when we are able to close that leakages or those leakages, the government will be able to harness a lot of resources to execute some of this agenda or agendas. Okay, so don't be surprised that government of Ghana is going to get the necessary revenue to execute the big push agenda. And mind you, the big push agenda is not a 1 year or a fiscal year project. It's for example, the expressway from Accra to Kumasi is a 3-year project. Okay, so this year they will get some part. Next year they will get some part of the 30 billion for the execution. Then 2027 they also make allocation in the 2027 budget for the continuation, as well as in 2028 they will make allocation for the finishing of that project. So it is not a matter of a fiscal year's project execution. It is multiple years project execution, because the nature of the project requires that it cannot be completed in 1 year. So every year you make allocation for wherever you have gotten to, so that by the targeted year, you be sure say me executive BBA.
Okay, so before I may interrupt you, we are moving on to another subject. I think we've talked about break. Now you're about to touch on another thing before I came in with my question on how to raise money for the big push agenda.
Yes, a great aspect, Nameka say it has to do with the investment the government is doing in agriculture, because for the past 9 months or 11 months, our government in about you realize ebano nkukon project in our launch just to make sure say our demand for chicken will be catered for locally, if not all, at least some greater part of it should be catered for locally. And institutional agriculture, whereby most of the institutions in Ghana are being taxed to what partake in the in this Feed Ghana project. For example, the prison service, the military, National Service Authority, they are all involved in this project. And by virtue of that, you can attest to the fact that most farmers are calling for what? Bumper harvest, and not even getting markets after they have harvested their produce. This led to His Excellency John Dramani directing that all secondary schools within the Ashanti enclave should purchase the tomatoes that was harvested in Achim North or something, Achim North district or so. Okay, now the government has realized that Ghanaians are cultivating a lot of agricultural produce, and has directed that henceforth all secondary schools, all school feeding projects should purchase made in Ghana rice and made in Ghana maize, made in Ghana tomatoes. Almost all these foods should be purchased in Ghana and not import them. All right. When this happens, it will motivate the youth, it will motivate farmers to cultivate more, because they will know that there is a ready market for their produce. Okay. Again, the government is also saying that they are going to engage in palm plantation cultivation, about $500 million equivalent. Okay, so the government's agenda for agriculture transformation is very, very high. That is why they have introduced farm centers, and also bringing on board farm equipment at a subsidized rate so that farmers can buy
at least touch on something that he said about the compensation of employees, wages, making about pension. It has been an issue for a very long time. When you heard about this, no, not what are you thinking about? I can go fire mom or haircut pension for the other.
Yes, so the pension issue, the head cut issue has to do with the fact that we did not spend our money responsibly. Okay, intina ye kodi kama your friend is saying yeah DDEP, but going forward, the government has realized that it is not the best to borrow recklessly, spend recklessly, and at the end of the day, no, sorry, at the end of the day, the issue has to do with the prudent expenditure. Yes, thank you. The issue has to do with prudent expenditure so that we can save ourselves from going through this mess of touching pension funds. And the government has indicated through its finance minister that they are going to spend prudently, and we are not going to go to the area of touching pension funds. By virtue of that, the government is now current on all payment to SNITs and other pension funds. Okay. Again, the government has also indicated that by virtue of going to employ other public sector workers next year, they negotiated with labor to accommodate a 9% salary increment, so that it wouldn't be that they have increased the base pay with a certain percentage and they are not able to pay these monies, and they are not also able to recruit new employees. So labor understood the government from this angle and accepted the 9% increment. And they have also indicated that when next year, going forward, and things are better, the government will also do more for labor.
Now, over the years, not Ghana Fu is super, because I think Amamaya, they were all affected by COVID. COVID treatment still now Ghana for the social taxes. I realize COVID tax, if you're not man for your touch on it.
Yes, who say COVID by our friends in the NPP were using COVID as the yardstick for everything that went wrong in Ghana. But meanwhile, Enya Ghana Kwana COVID echi other countries. But because they were prudent, the kind of fiscal slippages and as a fiscal your friend turnout and you be na Ghana recorded, and you be na other countries recorded. We recorded double-digit deficit. Is because in 2020, because na yekoto abaninti, the government spent recklessly and engaged in all manner of expenditures. And no NMA abino running into that kind of deficit. But other countries are also experiencing COVID. Because of COVID impact on the economies was very, very high. They did not record this kind of deficit. So, buying as Ghana government through the NPP government in 2021 introduced the COVID levy. Meanwhile, yari about we are seeing now Ghana pe ene de a toba say yari no hoto China krana yare ne sha se wo krampo no amfa eto bi amma nka se eye COVID eto. Ena Ghana esan se yan boy ebra ye diska basa ni te kofa eto bi ba se COVID to. Aban ni jisa to ya even abra na COVID eni ho no kra na aban no kosoje. Esan se no we create hole a onyaska but at all means to fill that hole. It's here aban NDC aban etisisia through John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. Or your campaign or car say oba obeyi COVID to on free ho. Oba yiso bosha o share Ghana phone we diso we yi eto ne free ho ama Ghana phone na eni age. Nti isi ano mia ye behia ne say the government will continue to be prudent in its fiscal expenditure and ensure say yenkoye Nanado style of governance to send us back to where Nanado left us.
We've been joined by Dr. Masood Abungu. So now, your social commentator, the conversation is going to be balanced. At least in your balance, now we are doing changing. We'll be joined by Mr. Petras Anab Ali, coach. Me and Sabrina will be a different University of Ghana. Coach Ali will be in Mr. Petras Anab Ali. Say good evening.
Good evening, Lawrence.
I'm out about the crime regime so live on Today Ghana News TV.
Medase, I think that this is my first time may appear on Nukreju Media, and I love the analysis going on. Utimu say the politics can never stop, and when you stop politics, then it means we are stopping everything. Even countries will cease. So I like it, and I like the name that program. So Nukreju Media, but people to peddle falsehood. We live in an IT world. Technology, they debunk everything that you've said. So, thank you very much for having me on your program.
Yeah, pleasure. Coach, 2026 budget in the you sure say at least when your documents in Biashi, and say yes, I can when your video in Biashi as at the time the budget was being presented. Coach, where do you stand? Where do you think we are lacking? Then we are on the right track. Then also corrections will be back away.
To me, I think I've said it on other sister stations. Parliament of Ghana needs to apologize to every Ghanaian, because what they did on that Thursday, if my memory serves me right, because they announced to every Ghanaian say 2 p.m. and a budget in the kind. So almost every Ghanaian the budget, especially coming from Dr. Kisela to Forsen. So for it to start around 5, 6, I think the Parliament of Ghana disrespected Ghanaians. If you knew you are not going to start at 2, you should have told us, because you had a crunch debate on the appointment of the Chief Justice. So, and you know how these politicians act. And you still insisted it will start at 2, and a lot of Ghanaians, some of us have to leave the office, watch the budget reading. At the end of the day, when it was 2, they were now debating on whether Bafuboni is eligible to be the Chief Justice or not. So some of us, even the start of the reading of the budget, but Yasha SFCB, I think all in all is a budget. All in all, it's a good budget. My major concern on sports, because you know my background to be a sports guy. So I was looking at what the government will be doing in sports. And it is surprising, 150 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to the Black Stars to prepare and also participate in the World Cup. Then after that, 200 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to the Ministry for Sports. Say, you fancy 3 new stadia. And I asked myself, is it that Black Stars qualifying to the World Cup and preparing and participating in the World Cup is equivalent to building 2 stadia and even having excess? Because if you convert 200 million Ghana cedis to, you can say, dollars, you hover around 15 to 18 million dollars. And Black Star alone has been given $13.6 million, which doesn't make sense, excuse me, because FIFA in its wisdom has given every country that has qualified to the World Cup $10 million. Unless the finance minister comes to tell us they are loaning or giving the money to the ministry and to the GFA as a form of a loan. Say Black Stars call World Cup no scale no or more area. But yes, sir, you don't spend a whooping 13,600,000 USD within 7 months. That is how it is, because the World Cup will be played in June, July. So by the end of July, the Black Stars would have spent $13 million, which to me, I think they should do something about it, because if FIFA in its own wisdom $10 million, probably Ghana may go for it. That is what we are asking for. Say there we can get, if you get to the round of 16, Ghana will get around $15 million. So at the round of 16, Ghana may get $60 million. Then we may know but I still think building 3 stadia, which cost 200 million Ghana cedis, and also giving the Black Stars 150 million Ghana cedis, Now to the COVID levy, I think yes, for the politician and especially the NDC, it is good for them to have scrapped the COVID levy. But I also have a different view. When you prepare a manifesto, it is 4 years. Okay, so if I'm the president of the republic, I may scrap the COVID levy probably in my 3rd year, because Ghana need to generate revenue. And when you cancel all the levy,
you maintain COVID levy, no?
Yes, probably next year or so, or 2028, because Ghana needs money. Ghana needs money, and I asked, where are they going to get money? Yes, they will tell you they have the gold board and others, but is it that the gold board can solve all our problems? So me, I was thinking, the COVID levy could have been there till maybe the 3rd year of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. But they are politicians and they know the best, because they think of how to win power. So if this is what we can do even in our 1st year to win power in 2028, why not? But as a citizen of this country and someone who loves Ghana very well, I think we need to generate income, and for that matter, the COVID levy should be there. Because you said NPP are buying bechiche light. I said, Oman changed you. They made water and light accessible to people, but definitely we are going to pay for it. Then they brought the COVID levy. So Ghanaians have paid the COVID levy for over 2 years. So why not add another 2, making it a cycle, a political cycle, that is 4 years before we can take it up? Because during the COVID, Ghana boka, so we need to get these monies. And I think the finance minister could have left the COVID levy to be there. Sometimes I don't know, because I'm not somebody who is well vested in economics, but I think they did it because of politics and not because Ghanaians will be free and also prices of things will go down. I don't think so. Yes, prices of things have gone down, but we Ghanaians are not feeling it that much. Probably those who feel it, no almost send this car 50 cities, 10 cities, 20 Ghana. We are not feeling the impact of e-levy. So I'm just hoping. But apart from that, it was a nice day. I think the finance minister did very well. I'll give him 8/10 for how he articulated the reading of the budget. He did very well, and it was something that I think every finance minister who will come after Kesel Atofos in PhD should also emulate.
This is nice. Coach, I work about you are very much interested in number concerning youth. Now, let's talk about social and agricultural policies you introduce here and the amount of money allocated for that particular sector. Do you think, say, whatever that was said and the kind of intentions of Mono is going to be, is it feasible? What can we actually get from it, and how do we read it?
You know why I'm laughing? As you said, so there is a big difference between what you wish and what probably you may get. So this is the wish of the finance minister, and for that matter, the government in power, that is the NDC led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So their wish, honestly, but if you read the 2025 budget, the Kumasi Express, the Accra Kumasi Express route was in. Now it has been repeated, right? Do you get it? I am hoping, sir, because the youth of this country needs to be employed. They actually need employment. And one way where we can employ most youth, the agricultural sector. You see, I don't know, but I think, sir, there are a lot of places where we can actually develop for the youth to engage themselves in those areas. One is sports. If we're able to develop sports very well, the employment that sports will actually make will be more than the coders and something that the John Dramani Mahama manifesto brought. If you look at the Ghana Premier League, we are having more than 1,000 football professional players. 1,000 of them are Ghana Premier League are employed. Go to the Division 1. Even in the Premier League, look at the coaches, look at those working at the secretariat of the various clubs and the rest. You are hitting almost 1,500 to 2,000 people. If you go to the Division 1, make sure say your basketball league is running. And if you come to Ghana basketball, it is only few clubs, or more 50 Ghana cedis. If you are to do things right, like a sports betting employ almost 10,000 to 50,000 people in the youth. The same thing applies to agriculture. Osha agriculture, see the vision Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had. Osha Shai Hills side or Moko voter regional. Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah left that part, saying agriculture. And you drew on and money vegetables no mudia or. Here lies the case after they overthrew him. Nothing has gone on. Recently, I think under His Excellency John Evans Atamils, and almost started say Omoya and Kratasem, so that these lands will be given to farmers to farm there. Then Nanado also came, they shared the land, and I know the current minister who was appointed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will also try as much as possible to also help the farmers there. So we wish to say some more can, but the politician mind, is different from any ordinary Homo sapien. They do things that can get them power. It is not what makes the citizen feel okay. We have been politicians before. We have held SRC executive positions before. Most of the times, it is whatever we do, can we get power? Apart from that, it is not the Obama Lawrence, so that is the difficulty here. If not, I think agriculture, billions of Ghana cedis it tells you that they really, really want to invest in agriculture. Osha the buffer stock at a point in time, we had nothing there. But we can only produce when we make sure that the agricultural sector is working. So I would say, well, that is what they want to do, and I wish them good. We will hope, the black man's politician will not have that kind of black mentality, but rather the white mentality, where whatever they wish, they will actually work towards that so that we can see it when the light shines on us. Otemenka. Hello?
Welcome to Beyond Makeup, where beauty and confidence are taken to a whole new level. Here, we pamper and take care of you like royalty. Enjoy our gentle waxing, refreshing facials, and soothing massages that melt away stress and leave your skin glowing. We also offer professional makeup services, manicures, pedicures, durable nail extensions, and perfectly sculpted ombre brows. We give you the most perfect soft lashes that highlight your natural beauty. At Beyond Makeup, every visit is more than just a service. It's an experience of care, elegance, and transformation. Locate us at Chado Last Stop or call us on 0559 933 505 or 0506 474 911. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Beyond Makeup, your journey to wellness starts here.
Back from the montage break, Dr. Masood Abungun, so I didn't show 2026 budget. And you're sure about this time, COVID living, say, coach can we not support, but we drop over. Any balance, said you'll be in the same way, no be any about the budget. Doc.
Yeah, Oris. Good evening. No.
Good evening. Doc, and radio, we salutation, say,
Need you, my home say, Mammy found this opportunity each year to tear for maybe a more via or mutie or more share online, YouTube, Facebook, Michio Mina, na Massa, absolutely NPP, grassroots for baby Mobia, Michio. Now, social commentator now, or Casa is no, or Casama Meniaji. Oh, say, Omuka say, budget and crown, or started. Budget statement to 2 o'clock. Now, so a chair and back only by 5 o'clock. Anything I had 3 days a gallon say by budget, because there was something illegal. And something illegal, like Oma, or motivation, or want to be found by 20 no more, or more sneaky area above my and gallon say budget. Now, Lawrence, me, I mean, Casa baby, me, baby, I may need done a 24-hour economy. No? Because they see any Ghanaian youth no almost soon. Teachers soon. Nurses soon. Or more MPP employer or more MPP employer my brother by Muna NDC by the year mudi almost soon. And now we are teachers, newly trained teachers are more fear 2 years no almost soon. Almost say be ha. Omulan sensa exams matro pass agi certificate no eyewu omunye sika enti budget ni na me hwe so an say 24-hour economy na NDC e ka no come implement na ka yehu 3 shift na mo kan ebi mbeko 8 hours nebi masako 8 hours nebi masako 8 hours na 24 hours no eno na ka me hwe say e baba budget no but Lawrence me hwe no Galon say budget no antimi ambam. I don't think me make us finance minister or any statement no. Okay say Oma allocated 110 million Ghana cedis some the way 24-hour economy no. Right? But Usha apprentice no. appendix normal allocating 90,000 $90 million Ghana cedis. Conflict is conflicting because on any statement and also allocate 110 million Ghana cedis. Now so appendix is no or much also say 190 million Ghana cedis. Now Guzetan also na Gizotan also saying Abekaya on 24-hour economy no administrator and that's on no on also you never buy a home no on also can say you here 400 about 4 billion US dollars. Sano kan July 2025. Obia wetima go 7 here 4 billion. Now 4 billion and yanko no 110 million Ghana cedis o. And that's a 90 million Ghana cedis I budget no. You go first ask can o hen. Enti wow share 24-hour economy no. Lawrence, dia o metimi ayede a implement it. Na mami so me quote omo budget no. Page 92. Or can say the government is implementing a focused set of policies to unlock private investment, diversify the economy, and drive exclusive job-rich growth. Omuka job-rich growth. La Lawrence, Obia, Oka job-rich growth. Na se you know, ya employ ebimu ewo jumamu ho. No ma be you omudi. Enti Lawrence, enyo because Oka about job-rich growth. Now job-rich growth now Oka 17 no what employ NPP are employing Crawford. Uba for be no ba be you omudi. Eyami now. And now over page 93 of our budget no point and I said paragraph 681. We are making it easier to do business and attract new investment into productive sector of the economy. Eti almost say then making it easier. Say a bit my business. Make up page 93.681. Now Lawrence, Usha it's very difficult to register a business in Ghana. Meaning say what try who they call register of business, conscious of register business ultimate register business no. Answer no certificate beba no. Everything check. Utu express krana ebia enu etabantem. Enti ofye budget na enye budget ebe boa Ghana. I don't think because me can serve because 24-hour economy no. Enye ejuma. Enu sina yo flagship policy. Na say Gizotano e can so here $4 billion US dollars no confer 90 million Ghana cedis. Ebere na 24-hour economy be ejuma na your flagship. So these are the failures. These are the shortcomings of the budget. Now, officials our budget no sumu na omo can say omo be yi VAT every prospecting anti and reconciliation. And me fan say foreign investors now omo ba be ye ehwe gold was as we now first now mutual tax. NDC abai and I said the second coming of John Dramani Mahama also be yi sa tax na free mu. Na eyam na VAT when you say 1995 when you say Nana Akufo-Addo already demonstration against VAT that's our demonstration no your friend Kumi Preko and no kran that demonstration no nipa bebre efa hu because that are not rules na power omu you see omu break shooty and also breaking fire on demonstrations ni bi ebe bi mu wuye ebe mu propra na NPP abai na we are against the VAT enteyem wanwa say enne omu yi VAT tax na ewo prospecting and reconciliation mining right and which said tama na NPP 1995 a demonstration that was led by Akufo-Addo Kosi Pa Kosi ena Male Koko Bako and the likes. And which say near na demonstrate count a year juma. Now Lorris and you na because share tax now mu yi free mining ni mu a aban we ba power. No see I COVID levy. Omuba me ye free shoe. Now Lorris interesting. Omuba yeswe in January 7th January. Omaji COVID-19 levy ni sa omukusuji up to ene. Omukusuji. I don't know man chum. So I'm saying I don't know man chum. Ena VAT on life insurance. Who say na you can VAT on non-life insurance. You can non-life insurance. Who say okoto car also your insurance and non-life. Who koto time and I say who shop and I say mama no more motor ade o dwom no also insure mo shops no ni na land life insurance policy eno no sa ban we no wa increase another tax 15% tax at to sa ade no so and this year ya jo mama ba power also the tax to plastic so enti ukoto polythene bag ukoto bucket just say ukoto plastic product biano 7% tax na ban we editor so enti mi bisa jo mama and I say mi bisa NDC se mu si mu yi VAT on mining o mama be ye prospecting who yi tax free so na foreigners na benefiting na adena ultimate yi tax on plastics ultimate yi tax on non-life insurance a Ghanaians a suffer.
Doc, Suminka. All right, I think that Doc how many chichi. Now, my main core opening chance wanna with what Doc arguments are Doc in making and some of the things are social commentator Petra Sanab Ali on to make you know. Maybe Mr. Charles, I'll give you like 2 minutes to touch on some of the things or Mokaya hopefully say, and of course 24-hour economy policy no one of your flagship we are modified. I think say a lot of Ghanaian youth especially they were all looking now to our disappointment nothing like that.
Let me clarify something. 24-hour economy is not an event. Okay, it is a process. What is essentially John Dramani Mahama or Sir Bosho Share Ghana for say? Yebenya economy or per se Ghana enya eye economy sa economy no on that. Obeye juma 24/7. Ebi mu kwa no pano, na ebi mu kwa ewia, na ebi mu kwa anajo. Eba ni saa eye ejuma papa a no sustainable jobs ebeba. Na saa 24-hour economy no enye se eye product bi a ede chef na wakotam na wo de abeto Ghana say 24-hour economy say net enu ni na makota ba no. The 24-hour economy, for it to be successful and for it to be sustainable, no, you need to put certain things in place. So obi tika aswa na se nejuma wo kanesia certainly obefaka na akọ anaju okwa or sell light wo ho. So what you say okodusu a ne bambo ho tesai. These are the measures you need to put in place for the 24-hour economy to be successful. Into Wusha, Aquine or see oye, Kania or see oye. And I was who Ghana, Ubedi what dance say, Tisia, Sadum so light of seminal. It's a thing, it's almost gone. Your friend said, Aquine, or more ye Aquine. Aquine, your friend say, here improvement through drip. Among for omu ye eduma se fata. And now securities one him says all the securities recruitment. So these things will come together to give the smooth implementation of 24-hour economy. It is a yana say no more NPP 24-hour economy wasama. Or more can say 24-hour economy. It is saying Katie and I said Dokunwa. Yeton wo dwa so a wokọ ya na wakoto. 2 sa 24-hour economy sika na your friend is saying Masawood Dr. Ek Abongo Eka ho asem no. Then 110 million Ghana cedis na aban na aka so mo de ma secretariat ni dwumadi a omudi no Obenyeska around that secretariat. That 110 million is not for the 24-hour economy. And I make sure that the 24-hour economy is not a product, okay, or it is not an event. It is a process. This time, I buy no yet man of 4 years, no, or the tutorial your man 24-hour economy, no, it may jina branding. And until I say, yeah, solve Kenya wants them, or so obey, no. Thermal plant of what 1,002 megawatts. Oh yeah, quite big push. And increasing districts are here while identifies or obey what or more aquine and agriculture sector so improve up so that when the 24-hour economy kicks in, it will what flow and it will go on smoothly without any hindrance. So as for Doctor, I am not surprised about his statement or his comment about the budget because the NPP as a political party and with its members, they are days with the good or the reception the budget has received from Ghanaians. So they are trying everything possible to discredit the 2026 budget. But the good people of Ghana know, say, what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has been able to achieve within this short space of time, I'm not Ghana for your confidence be your politicians, NDC Muse, or Moka or Mobeyo. After the NPP, I am not surprised about what Doctor said at all. Because Omuni any assembly of Modebeka to Ghana for Etrima Ghana for to abeti NDC sanity there everything. Let's run it down. Almost 1 year, no scandal. Almost 1 year, Bibia Kosokama, the city is stable, the lights are working, everything is going on as Ghanaians expected. Okay, so their only interest is to throw dust into the people's eye. But so I will not waste my time on Doc's submission. So let me move to within 1 minute. Let me move to my brother's statement.
Okay.
Yes, just 1 minute, I beg. COVID-19, the revenue COVID-19 is raking in is only 2 billion Ghana cedis. All right. But when you take that COVID-19 levy away and you reform the tax structure, the tax handle is capable of bringing in more than that 2 billion that the COVID-19 was bringing or is bringing. That is why the government has saw it prudent that we need to reform the VAT handle to ensure that compliance becomes easy. People are motivated to pay, and government will rake in more money from that. Again, my brother also indicated that COVID no Ghana boka. Yes, COVID no Ghana boka, but have you also looked at the revenue COVID brought to Ghana? The COVID as a disease, Ghana brought in 23 billion Ghana cedis. The total expenditure about COVID was 11 billion Ghana cedis. So the excess amount of money now COVID into Ghana free, and no na also yeshani who said no. Senka ya tutu ya nyoma year nanka ska COVID edi bre any ska ya the boy ya who buy efa COVID no nanka emma or mine nkojina sa tibi anymore. Esan say ye discover sika no nyafu ena yan tutu ya nyoma ye ena ma ye ko jina baby a ye ko jina enam ho ma ye kofa sa COVID level ni ba ye no.
Right.
So I just want to clarify that for my brother to understand that the revenue COVID brought exceeded the expenditure that COVID expenses incurred.
That's it. I can't 30 minutes to be out of here, and the next topic I am moving on. I just want to allocate like seven minutes to each panel. Now, now, and just 2 days ago now, swear Chief Justice in. He's been the acting Chief Justice for over 7 months. Na ono who said the name eko. Ene yabeto mu say former Chief Justice petition or they call who has no ya tam the paper no cry to action baby. See, we have a new Chief Justice. And new HIS Obaya, I mean, you swear in with the kind of insama can you be what are Ghanaians expecting from the current Chief Justice, His Lordship for Bafu Boni. Now, my mouth track record you have. Now, it was or assuming office somewhere around 28 June 11, and this nomination came from former President John Ejekum Kufuor. He was the Chief Justice of the Court of Appeal. Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Ghana. Sansuna in the year 2006. This is from nominated by John Ejekum Kufuor. Again, became the Justice of the High Court. I think it's gone through the process. Now people are asking of the credibility, and some of the kind Ghana football. Are we able to making sure to be protected? Mrano Okayaka, the reformation of the Ghana Law School near the other, which to me is quite interesting. But I just want to hear from you, especially Doc Abongo, on your expectation from the Chief Justice. Doc. Okay, Mr. Petras, Anna.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity once again. I think our brothers from both sides probably may agree with me. I think my brother from the NDC has well explained why the COVID levy needs to be taken away. And for that matter, the restructuring of the VAT system. And I think my brother also from the NPP side, once it goes in their favor, they will be happy. But some of us there, we've still said the budget is a good budget, the 24-hour economy. Personally, I voted for the NDC because of the 24-hour economy, because a country where at 5 p.m. the entire government machinery shuts down. It's not a country that you can rely on or depend on, because there are a lot of sectors that needs to be closed down at 5 p.m. So it is one reason why I actually voted for the NDC in 2024. But apart from that, as you said, baby no kreno wono ehon ye deto ti no kreno se yetoma na oba na wan be edwuma 2028 ebebo Galaway. But another fantastic appointment na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Etimaye no. Some of us were of the view her ladyship, the former Chief Justice Getri Tokono, was actually bringing the image of the judiciary into abyss. Now the image of the judiciary, say people at a point in time did not fear the judiciary. I remember in 2012, 2013, when we were at the university, and you remember the court case at Baye. Who dare you talk about Supreme Court judges? You can't. But in recent times, people can bring these judges on their television sets, on their programs, radio stations, and destroy them. They were losing their integrity, the kind of respect one more justices of a court of their friends appeal Supreme Court. They lost all those things. You see, so get to talk or not going. I always blame her. He was doing more politics than even the one who appointed her. He was doing more politics than the one who appointed her. There are clear cases, which means this case there. Fair enough. When I'm a lawyer, I'm a school, I drew baby. But on what occasion, as a member of the people who sat on the 2020 election petition, at a point in time, Omuchitu Muse, Chachunya Butre na omode easy I've forgotten her name. Is it Jane Bibi? Jane Ebeba your friend is saying box nim ama Chachu ebusana questions because Chachu wanted to write questions to her so that she answers. Musu that enfana Chachu Ganiako. Chachunya Butre nemreso amode mbeba boxing. Then these same judges came and said, "Sir, you cannot force somebody to witness." So they knew this and they told Chachichi Kata, say, "She Onya Butrena, ma menembejina dake." Me, if I'm if Kaminimrane Kakrana Mitimichiro petition Nibia, Kamachiro, all those people who sat on that case should be taken away from Supreme Court because they are liars, they don't speak the truth. They are people that we cannot call justice because injustice. Because as a justice, whatever you say, you should go by it. You cannot promise somebody say nyabotre na yede nipa nebeba. Then you cannot force somebody. Then why didn't you allow the person to write? You could have said, "Sir, in our ruling, we will not allow you to write questions to the lady to come and answer without giving us reasons, no problem. But to give us a reason, say, boxing, then this old man had the patience to wait. And you cannot force somebody to. All these judges who sat on the case should be taken away because there are people who do not love this country. There are people who are not practicing justice. There are people who want to see this country die. So me, for Tokonu, she did more politics than even rendering justice to the people of Ghana. See when the parliamentary case happened, you could clearly see this woman is doing the job for somebody. And here lies cases of the court in Wolusi. And you know what she's trying to say? During her time, people could influence her to give just judgment. And that is why she herself, the people she pretended on, she doesn't believe them. Why is she not believing the judgment ever? Now, with the case I could rule, from ECOWAS doesn't mean the time or no chief justice, you know. Not some of the judgment ever, no, they were influenced by external people. You see, sometimes in no maybe a year, no maybe a year canon. Emma and answer phone say, Sa will cry now who wants it. So for Justice she has no business to be even a judge. I think Senkaya Ghana history cry any difference over a judge in her entire career. Because she actually now in our award rankings, how Ghanaians the confidence Ghanaians had in the judiciary, it was going down. And if the referee is seen as a biased person, it becomes very difficult. The country becomes very volatile. Because because but for Justice Bafuboni, the most experienced now at the Supreme Court, and Ocean Yoma, this is somebody who even admitted, Ojeli Papa, a friend at 70 years, you know. Now he was in his youthful age in terms of being a judge. So you see the power of judges' words. 70. So these are the powers given to these people. So anytime they render judgment, we take them serious. So Ubana biased judgment. Gradually, you'll be destroying the state. And if you don't take time, the man in that black coat, as Lucky Dube said, will be standing at your door because you are the next victim. So for Justice Bafuboni, I don't know him, but from what I've read about him, I think, if we are looking for somebody who is going to bring back the image of the judiciary, we cannot look any further than Justice Bafuboni. He has seen it all. He has worked under Jerry John Rowley. He has worked under His Excellency John Ajekum Kofo. He has worked, and these people I'm mentioning actually gave him promotion. JJ brought him to the High Court.
You can tell. And which means is two different administrations altogether. And so far as they're able to have that kind of confidence in him, tells us something.
is the point. You see, we don't know why His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did not consider him. Then somebody you appointed somewhere around 2018, 2019 to be the Chief Justice over Justice Bafuboni. And your school been a tokonu asene. Clearly, I think the tokonu crowd Sanka ye jini di Africana history musa wa mbaya judge crack here. Because everything about her was bad. Everything about her.
I would say.
Who has sat at the Supreme Court for 10 years before you came. Near my Chief Justice. Me no grant Kameka so young farmer Bafuboni. But here lies the case. Ebi ano munim do mpeso amoye. One e de na ko wie ne. For Justice Bafuboni, you there were higher na be hu cases ebeko and AI or see a debate in Ghana. We are going to get our image back. You know, in certain countries like Zambia, some of our judges are even able to go there. Our lawyers are able to go there to administer justice. So for Justice Bafuboni, I can tell you, sir, he's going to do a good work. He's going to actually bring the image of the judiciary back. And if he does not, the preamble in Ghana's constitution, the sovereignty lies in Ghanaians. The same way we are praising him, we will criticize him and write a petition for his removal. But I hope and pray, sir, he does very well and bring back the image of the judiciary.
Thank you. Mamenko Doc Abongo Masood na the expectations on the new Chief Justice. Doc.
Yeah. Lawrence. Wait, by a judiciary there. Lawrence, I'm losing hope with the judiciary. Lawrence, let me tell you something. Lawrence, let me tell you. Midnight here, meeting me. Not 4 o'clock. Me say military, not police, or mapa. Abu bomb them boom. Namada, me feel mu boom. Eko mu konchene ba oi boom no e de to bash no. Me so mo ba chi me say me sorry a me pie me buye a police ni soldier na gina me dan mu. I don't be say why? And about assaulting me. Say I don't me be some say why? Let's go. Me say let's go ahead. Give me something to prove you're arresting me. I don't cheer me. I don't match your call. Police training school Kumasi. Yet to form and cameras. Violate your basic fundamental human right. Now, Lord, you name assembly. And you process here now. About 800 people the same day. Why be you want me dying? No evidence. Me deep on it. Be me no me to my boychry. My background. Why be chimney? Edi mi ako mo treat me. Edi camera to me so me a criminal. You process him the court. Judge no. Because of me title Dr. Bongo no. Or chair doctor no. Now me say lawyer or judge no see your mom being 50,000. Right? Nyoma kani na Lawrence one mom 2 weeks remand without any evidence. Your mom 2 weeks remand. Our group that's what prison. So I ask myself, is this a judge? A judge that should know the basic law of protecting fundamental human rights. Na the case about police the case about omudi boni bia o. Maybe bia na meti say almost EPA for no mu twem. And the boys be here then ewu omo. And I say omo dwane. We were then yet obuase dadwene o. Eye dinku adadwene. And o wa be chi obuase dadwene for ebi mu no mu da sorry to say omu do omo yiri so. No match omo. Ebi mu na naked. E wo UTV so obetumi akohwe. Judge no so share ya say omo ko remand without any evidence. Lawrence me no kan omo da so prison. Why should our judges be doing this? The fundamental basic human right, the fundamental laws omo to me apply. I don't know if someone is influencing our judges. But you go back for Bonia or the most senior most judge ni peka. But then I am down say, Lord, it's not kind of 1 year pay. 1 year na aka. So I call retirement. Now come you say, can you judge at least only John Mahama term 4 year term ever soon. nanka oko na so take on so start o musi di yi no me can say judiciary coup d'etat. I didn't think we can say judiciary coup d'etat. Okay, campaign time no. John Dramani Mahama as the president. O can say oba ombe make sure say NDC lawyers ni NDC judges. Oma nominate NDC lawyers ni NDC judges, Eco Supreme Court and the High Court judges no. And to me it was not surprise. So oba na you petition saying you talk or no. And to me, my friend say a judiciary coup d'etat by NDC under John Mahama, right? Now, so time no dear, maybe can say baffle bonnet dear, the time dear was shot, and a baffle bonnet no. Time I no more or call for vetting or can statement be none a meninje. A baby beside, I'm not say I on my 70 years. And evidence out there, honestly, or share some money 30 years, or attacking. No. Wow, it will man 70 years. So that attack you ever no who call a judge should not be speaking this way.
Or the personal interest in the
yes, or in the personal interest in the yes, or in the personal interest in the even though one man broke the maximum years, but now can you consult in the personal statement the boom. Can say, oh, Sevi, the maximum years I able to media atai and I said the maximum sentence life imprisonment. But me man 70 years. Me feel say 70 years in me na kwan so. Can me this maximum respect in the man. But on no sure no personal interest. On journey a boom interest. I can say no man 70 years because oba obo now on journey say oba obi so afen no so be sorry. Uni say no so be threat e woni pa kro. O de wa dwunu ho nko personal interest. Our man 70 years. Na 70 years uni say we ba na afen obi so 20 years. Unju so bet member attack e ono so. Obetuma be ku ono so. Na ko ni kwen so almost a statement no. It na me feel say vetting committee no. Sa statement no nko no ko be man na retract. Anake ka omo pass no. But who are me? Who am I? Yo NDC, almost the super majority, and they do everything to favor them. And Lawrence, yeah, me what I can no. What should I say? Nebetima can say, say judiciary no. Almost the level of me fan say doubt I owe almost no. And a study almost yeah almost no. Ama Ghanaians be lose trust in them. Me say case na echo ya me na me call court no judge yes no. E mo me lose trust in the judges because some way ni ke ya bochira ke betu agu. You don't arrest someone today without that person, without any evidence, without giving the person a lawyer, a counsel, and straight ahead to the court. As at the court, I don't even know that I was having a lawyer. Let me name about saying a lawyer. Obia be saying one cent. Me call another lawyer that's so hold defending about NIPA about 800. Who does that? Which country does that? Can you do this? And you have a circuit court judge sitting on the case, giving remand 2 weeks. My God, are we in Ghana? Are these people going through the Ghana law school? Come on, Lawrence. I cry for Ghana. I cry for our country. And I need now John Mama soon yes man. John Mama and the NDC John Mama. John Mama that's Mama so be disappointed. No.
On that note, but Maminko opening chance, mentioning the submission and the expectation on the new.
You see, some of these statements said Obama very, very infantile. Doctor, I don't expect you to be going this tangent. Sometimes we ought to elevate the discussion, okay? Because say yacho ako police station, I say yacho ako court na embrano ye ndisua. You should speak against the ills in society so that but okay say you be the small boy say it will not solve the problem. The problem ought to be tackled as summer AC. And I say Jomama and small. Jomama and small say, what interest that Jomama has in you? Obesma say yanchi. So this thing should be left for the your friend is saying.
Open your expectations.
The grassroots people to talk about it. Yes. So other panels now, Mwakasani Najitum say, the social commentator na Dr. Bongo Mu Najitum say, the judiciary ought to be cleaned and the judiciary ought to be overhauled because of the previous judgment of Mudiama and Omuniye B. HM say the judiciary, Ghanaians have lost interest in the judiciary. So as part of the reset agenda, no, His Excellency John Mahama is making sure say every institution be your friend is saying it needs to be clean. No, steps are being taken to clean that institution. That does not mean say the current president has interest in the position of Chief Justice. No, because Ghanaians know said that institution ought to be clean. No, and untina obi or a victim of the injustice court no or petition Mahama say ni say na cause or court President Mahama so Ninsaka krata no once na so and as a one that's not the emraye juma near emrani cheso so ye no or ye the pepe maame no entumi defending the ho enam so ma yetumi yeyi nedi anase ye yatwe ase kunwa free sa position no is by virtue of her failure to defend herself because truth is only one. Inti say assembly and okre na say why ya we there ya ebebo enu nti na abono a obi biara wedi assembly echi ehu say no maame ni aye mistake ewo nyoma bi ho a enu nti enam committee ni recommending for removal. As for Justice Paul Bafuboni there, obi anim his experience, his knowledge in the law and his integrity to hold that office, and nobody is questioning his competence or his knowledge of the law to ascend to that office or ascend to that Chief Justice portfolio. So the only thing I can wish for Justice Paul Bafuboni is that ne eniswadi huna or covet a BPM or officer yema judicial service no obenya kwan na wetumi I implementing it na because it is not about the length of time you lead, it is the impact that you lead, no, and it is the policies that you implement, no, and the better say leadership are successful and as are successful. So within that 1 year period, no, I'm just hoping say he will use his credibility to carry out major reforms, long-lasting footprints in the judicial system. Ama Ochinabisa unanimous FC in Samano Yankotibio. So either Otis or Kase is going back to ensure say the electronically the bed distributed cases now go say your pejage be 70 case we going one say case be more interest we this particular judge or no, he's going to do that through electronic means. Now your friend prepare your justice na Ghana for no or Monsaka. So I wish him well, and I also wish the former CJ well in his next endeavors, because CJ na yaje we free swa and on say that is the end of the word for you. You can engage yourself. She can engage herself in other ventures. It will be productive for her, unlike chasing lost battles. So you rightly said ECOWAS case and I said the objection already, so far the case I got caught in the rulings anko amano. So she just let it go, and next time learn lessons from their atono na obi biara so a owo Ghana and as obi biara okita aban position as okita public position biara should know say you are there serving the interest of the people. So whatever you are doing, the people should be your main focus.
Opening that say, where the member messages need to 9. This one says, Nana Nyame Yao Bio says the new Chief Justice is cut for the job. Anab got it right on this one. Coach, we do we designing issue nice. Amano Fremo says the image of the judiciary started going down from the time of Enim Yabua. We Fremo Yewone. Ajingo Longo says, greetings to Lawrence. Good work done. This is from Kwame Ajeman, Freiburg, Germany. Samsona Kweku Yebu says, more fire, Mushi Jeningum. Namu making sure that Moshe Petras got it right this time. Judiciary needs a serious reset. Yes, judiciary they say they need serious reset. Robert Kimpe says, good job watching from Paris, France. Another one from Robert Kimpe says, Dr. Bongo and the social communicator are refusing commentator. Okay, all right. Whichever ways. The social commentator are refusing to be truthful to themselves. Ghanaians are wild awake. Okay. Ajingo came back again. He says, watching from Freiburg, Germany. Greetings to Honorable Chairman of Osu Ajari Ewutu Senya East. Okay. Come on, number. Greetings to Honorable Chairman of Osu Ajari from Ewutu Senya East. Okay. Kwame Ajeman, NDC Diaspora Communications, Freiburg, Germany. Premo came back and says, NPP, never again. We are now briefing some fresh as Ghanaians. Watching from Mantineaho. Premo says, the NPP government only came to waste time. Good government has come. Abai Papa. Nyame Yao says, the new Chief Justice, I think I've read this one. Okay, so Asempa Hene says, this is the real budget for the people and by the people. The big push is a game changer. Watching and listening from Achim Himai. Thank you so much, Achim, for what he's saying. Frimpong Bepi says, the new Chief Justice is very fine and good judge. They find out niceness. Samson Afimo says, the image of the so we kind. Okay, all right. We say, I think coach is confusing himself in the show. The less privileged feel more relief when the e-levy was abolished. Okay, Kweku Yebu says, Dr. Bongo is just doing the usual NPP politics. Fremombefi says, watching from Akuse. We say Petras Anap, the Petras Anap guy, is he serious at all? Does the COVID levy make sense to him? Watching from Nkwanta in the Otin region. Samsona, we say, good evening, watching from Suhum in the Eastern region. Ajingu says, keep the fire burning, comrade. Ajiman NDC. Okay. Jibodi Efua says, good evening, watching from Sunyani. Talk is cheap. The government is doing well and we need to encourage them. We need to encourage them to do more. It says, Petra's got, okay, I think I've read these messages. Mpacho, the messages are more on the if I'm not able to read your messages, kindly, Pacha me pana, and then the show now hot. Like I promised you today, we were able to have a social commentator on the show. It goes by the name Petras Anap Ali. Dudwana friend Coach Ali, who call Legona. Krahan Min, and also a radio personality, and they were joining. We had Dr. Masood Abongo, who is the chairman for the NPP, Russia. Samson Opening Charles Mensa, a communications officer for the NDC party back in Hamburg. Some people in a name read, Mr. Kamwa, Mudi Juman, some read Mama Quinana, Amaka, goodbye, Nanso. The Brenna Bre. It's more fancy. We no cremre. Jumedi baso every Thursday on Today Ghana News TV. Me amedi jumedi ho chame meeting Lawrence Apini Eboa. And na se kese enkoma me am boss, me director, the producer, opening set adi o she chiri no finchimi fideni na wa nso a wogi mbre na wuti na woni eju jumedi no boom. Wo do comment na dey na buy read it. Also da wase because without you show na any show because any mu na ye. It's not to say I'm mom say Ghana won sem na ye and kwa na ye. So nyame adoma Thursday we'll come back again to discuss the issues for Ghana. Na Mr. say it do on so be ni sama me. And all other programs are you hosting Today Ghana News TV no. Bageti closer na woni ejuju me na boom. Makram nyame adoma ebeshia.
Speaker, Ghana's economy has regained its rhythm. Real GDP expanded by 6.3% in the first half of 2025, up from 5.1% in the same period of 2024, driven by stronger agriculture and service, lower inflation, and renewed business confidence. Non-oil GDP grew by 7.8%, showing that our growth is now powered by domestic production. Mr. Speaker, the service sector remains the heartbeat of recovery